Yeah, baby, yeah. What's up? Welcome back. I'm John Stark, back from MovieGuy.com, your favorite blind film critic, and I'm wrapping up my Austin Powers reviews. Because this is the 25th anniversary of Austin Powers: The Spy Who Shagged Me, which is really the Austin Powers movie that matters. If you look at the box office, it made exponentially more money than the first one. So I think most people found Austin Powers through The Spy Who Shagged Me. Um, and then Goldmember as a sequel. Did it live up to the hype? That's what we'll talk about. I watched this with audio description, which is not great. I thought the audio description dropped the ball quite a bit on a lot of the physical comedy, a lot of the visual comedy. Just there were things and references to things, and that just didn't come through the audio. But then there were other things that I thought were really funny where they leaned into it, and I was like, okay, so that's good. But what about that joke over there? Because I remember that joke, and that joke didn't make it into the audio description. So that was kind of frustrating because I've seen Goldmember before and I remembered it, and I felt like probably more so than Spy Who Shagged Me that there were jokes that were left on the table. Um, whereas, but then there are funny moments where like they go to the club. He when he first goes back into 1975, and he goes to the club, and it's like I can't remember what it said. It was something like the club's full of cool dudes and hot chicks, and I was like, what? Something like that. Like, what is happening? Um, but it kind of feels like appropriate for what the movie is. Um, just felt very odd and British. But so this this is basically the original cast has returned. So Mike Myers is playing multiple roles again. Vern Troyer's back as Mini Me. Seth Green is back, obviously. Uh, you know, Heather Graham is gone, replaced with Beyonce, who is playing Foxy Cleopatra or something like that is her name, I think. Um, and she's the new spy that teams up with it because they have to stop. Well, he's back in time to rescue his dad, played by Michael Caine, and Michael Caine is probably the right person to play this type of role. He felt, and he leaned in on the comedy pretty well, and I liked it. And there are all of these scenes where his dad doesn't show up for him for certain things, and Austin's here to rescue him now. And it's a nice juxtaposition. The Goldmember character is not nearly as funny as Fat Bastard was in the second film. It's just not really a funny character. I didn't really. This is one of the reasons why with Goldmember, I'm like, I think Spy Who Shagged Me is really the pinnacle of Austin Powers. Not that in it's really Goldmember. It's just like they came up with an idea, but the actual character of Goldmember is just not really funny. It's like Myers didn't really have a great um, answer on how to make Goldmember funny. He had a clear idea. He has obviously a great Austin Powers. He has a great Doctor Evil, and he had a great Fat Bastard. But when he has to create Goldmember, he's like running out of uh, impressions. It feels like he's running out of ideas. So Goldmember might be the reason why there isn't a fourth one, because he was like, well, if I'm going to continue the shtick of me playing the villains, what would I do for the next movie? And also, he is sort of um, really leaning on the James Bond franchise, so there aren't too many more iconic villains along the way that really stand out that you could make like a spoof version of them. So, um, I mean, I obviously would have pitched him an idea where maybe he wasn't the other villain, where it was Doctor Evil, and um, because there have been plenty, and he always faces these women who have these really like sexually suggestive names who are villains, because in some of the other films, uh, he, James Bond actually, fights a lot of women. I would have maybe put like be like, well, why don't you have a female villain introduced? Why can't he fight a woman? Why can't the new person be somebody who's not you? You know. But anyway, um, also would have been a great opportunity for maybe like Dana Carvey or something like that to come in, who he's worked with before, to play a villain instead of him. I think he just really wants to be himself, and the money on Goldmember was there. Like, he didn't need to make The Love Guru. He could have made a fourth Austin Powers movie. He just didn't want to. Um, he just never came up with the right idea. It's not like he couldn't have gotten a green lit. Goldmember didn't flop at the box office. So Beyonce's fine. I like her here. Obviously, she will go on to do deeper roles in her career, but this is sort of at the beginning of her career. It's around the same time she's doing like Fighting Temptations. This is before she starts to stretch her range more. Dreamgirls is one that I thought she was great as Dina in Dreamgirls. But she's fine here. She's funny. I mean, I don't think she does anything more or less than Heather Graham or Elizabeth Hurley did. This has always been Mike Myers' series, and he takes it no matter who he's with. So I think she brings her own flavor. Just I thought like Heather Graham brought her own flavor, just like I thought Elizabeth Hurley brings her own flavor. They all are great scene partners for Mike Myers. But at the end of the day, I don't think this is quite as funny as Spy Who Shagged Me. So Spy Who Shagged Me is really like the only Desert Island movie version of anything in this franchise. I could leave Goldmember behind, just like I could leave the first film. I think the best ideas were in the middle, although they swing for some of the same jokes. There's the great preparation H joke. Seth Green is always great as Scott, just Scott Evil. I don't know. The opening sequence is funny, with Tom Cruise playing Austin Powers and Steven Spielberg actually appearing as the director of the Austin Powers movie. I thought that was interesting. The movie did not age well, because who's playing Dr. Evil? Kevin Spacey. Ooh. Oof. And I actually have to say his name, too. So I had forgotten Kevin Spacey played Dr. Evil in this. I truly had forgotten. And I forgot everything. There was something about the opening sequence, though, is that when it started to happen, I was like, oh yeah, that's right, Tom Cruise is in this. And I like remembered that, but I forgot Gwyneth Paltrow, I forgot Danny DeVito, and I definitely forgot Kevin Spacey in that opening sequence. So, yeah, it's a fun opening sequence, though. And then we jump into the movie. So, I like Goldmember. It's fun. And I like Austin Powers 1. But it's Spy Who Shagged Me is the one, which is why it seems weird that I'm celebrating the anniversary of this franchise on the second film and not the first film. But that's because I think the second film is the one everybody watches. I think the second film is what really set the franchise off, and I think the second film is the one that's worth keeping. So, yeah, I'm gonna give Austin Powers in Goldmember. I'm gonna give it an A minus. It's funny, but some of the stuff with Goldmember doesn't work. Like, yes, I still laughed. Audio description could be better. It does make some interesting, funny choices in terms of how it chooses to describe things. But yeah, I think Goldmember, the character of Goldmember, not the stuff that he does. The stuff that he does is funny, but actually Mike Myers playing Goldmember just doesn't work for me. That's really the only criticism I have. Anyway, thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing, and I will see you guys on the other side.